report, Trump once hoped to double the tariff on China. On September 4, 2019, CNBC reported on Tuesday that, after hearing that China will take countermeasures against the latest round of tariffs on Chinese goods, U.S. President Donald Trump once hoped to double the tariff. CNBC said that in late August, Trump learned that China would impose tariffs on $75 billion United States dollars worth of U.S.-made goods in response to the U.S. lifting tariffs on September 1. He is very angry about this and recommends doubling the existing tariff. CNBC reports that Finance Minister Steven Mnuchin and U.S. Trade Representative Robert Lighthizer, they all persuaded Trump not to do this. They also pulled a number of CEOs to personally warn Trump that the move would have a painful impact on the economy and the stock market. Trump finally agreed to raise the tariff on Chinese goods worth $550 billion by 5%. China and the United States will hold trade talks in Washington in October. On September 5, 2019, Chinese and U.S. officials plan to hold trade talks in Washington in early October. This is the latest attempt to cool the trade war that has swept the global economy and damped business investment and confidence. According to China Central Television, China's Vice Premier Liu He, U.S. Trade Representative Robert Lighthizer and U.S. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin have called on Thursday morning in Beijing time. The two sides agreed to hold a high-level trade judgment in the next month. The U.S. confirmed the call and said it will hold a high-level meeting in Washington in the coming weeks. Both parties stated that the deputy ministerial officials will communicate in mid-September to pave the way for the next higher-level talks. The plan for a face-to-face meeting between Chinese and American officials comes at a time when the two countries raise punitive tariffs. The United States is valued at about $270 billion. A 15% tariff is imposed on Chinese imports, mainly consumer goods. The United States also intends to raise the tariffs of some other Chinese exports to the United States from 25% to 30% on October 1. Most of these products are non-consumer products, mainly raw materials used by companies to produce products. According to Beijing's current timetable, this time point for raising tariffs may be before the end of the next round of trade negotiations. Google launches Android on Pixel mobile phone 10. September 4, 2019, Alphabet Inc. Google launched Android 10 on Pixel mobile phone on Tuesday. He also said that the release includes nearly 50 privacy and security-related changes, providing more protection and control for data. Google said that Android 10 has feedback supported by machine learning on the device and support for new technologies such as folding screens and 5G. The company said it is working with partners to launch this year and upgrade its devices to Android 10. SpaceX'S Mars rocket prototype rattles nearby residents in Texas flight test. Science News, August 27, 2019. The Raptor is the key workhorse for Musk's forthcoming reusable two-stage booster. Standing taller than the Statue of Liberty, it will be the key part for Musk's interplanetary space travel objectives, including missions to Mars. British Prime Minister, I would rather die in the ditch than postpone the Brexit. Boris Johnson said in a speech that he would rather die than to ask the EU to postpone the Brexit date of October 31. However, the bill passed by the House of Commons back on September 4 is likely to make Johnson's hopes very difficult. The bill aims to postpone the Brexit date by 3 months, delaying things until January 31. Although the bill still requires the vote by the House of Lords. Still face a vote, it appears that the Prime Minister hopes aren't very high. If the vote passes, Johnson has only 2 chances left. Either reach a European Union agreement at an EU summit on October 17 and 18 or turn a majority of lawmakers to supporting a non-agreement of Brexit. If Johnson fails either one, then he will be forced to asking the EU to postpone the Brexit deadline. Feeling cornered, the Prime Minister's pushes for no further delay in Brexit. As Johnson ponders possibly resigning, his brother, Joe Johnson, suddenly announced that he would step down as a member of the House of Representatives. He tweeted that he was torn between family loyalty and national interests. Another tweet said that he had been under an inextricable tension. "It is time for other people to serve as my members and ministers of state." The Prime Minister's office repeated that Johnson would not ask EU officials to postpone when Brexit should start. Such a delay would mean that the UK could not hold on to the October 31st deadline. Iliad of France decided to deploy French and Italian 5G networks with Nokia devices. On September 2, 2019, French telecom operator Iliad said on Monday that it had decided to purchase equipment from Nokia used to deploy 5G networks in France and Italy. The company said that the choice of Nokia indicates that the group chose European technology and strategic independence. Iliad said that 5G networks will be deployed in France and Italy starting in 2020. Vacancies for more than 7 months. Canada nominated new ambassador to China. On September 5, 2019, the Canadian government nominated its important economic advisor. Dominic Barton is the new ambassador to China to fill the vacancy for more than 7 months since Sean McCallum was dismissed in January. Once the nomination is officially accepted by Beijing, Bao Daman will go to Beijing to take up his post. According to Guy Saint-Jacques, former Canadian ambassador to China, this is not the first time that Bao Daman has been nominated as the ambassador to China. As early as 2016, Trudeau would consider letting Bao Daman take over the post of Zhao Pu. Was rejected by Bao Daman. Zhao Pu said that Bao Daman has not spoken Chinese, but he has maintained good relations with Chinese leaders during his stay in China, Canada. The Canadian Broadcasting Corporation stated that Ottawa is very confidential in the nomination process of the new ambassador because of fear of being rejected by Beijing. On August 2, Canadian Foreign Minister Fang Huilan disclosed the nomination to Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi in Bangkok. It is estimated that there was no opposition from Beijing. It will be announced only 1 month later. Bao Daman is a deeply trusted economic advisor to Trudeau and serves as the chairman of the Economic Committee of the Ministry of Finance. Help him formulate economic policies. In a statement, Bao Daman said that Canada-China relations are important relations, and he will work hard to solve the existing challenges. Born in a missionary family, Bao Daman has a master's degree in economics at Oxford University. He began serving McKinsey & Company in 1986. From 2004 to 2009, he became the chairman of McKinsey's Asia in Shanghai. In 2008, the Shanghai government was responsible for the local community. The outstanding contribution of culture and economy was awarded to the Magnolia Memorial Award. He also published a book on China's insider, by essays and interviews in China. The U.S. stock market soared as the trade war ended with a resurgence. On September 6, 2019, the U.S. stock market and U.S. Treasury yields rose sharply on Thursday. The talks will be held in Washington in October, which once again ignited the embarrassment of the market to finally reach a trade truce. The Dow Jones Index rose 372.68 points to 26,728.15 points. The increase was 1.4%. In recent weeks, trade between the two largest economies in the world has caused large fluctuations in the stock market, bond markets and foreign exchange markets. The forthcoming talks have rekindled hopes of progress, which have recently exacerbated tensions by levying new tariffs on each other. The United States and China stated that deputy ministerial officials will work together in mid-September to lay the foundation for the talks. Beijing said it hopes to achieve substantial progress in the talks next month.